Okay, hey, so welcome back to the second part. Let's move forward onto the chest right away. So we've done the hips, we've done the feet, we're now working on the chest. And first of all, it's very low to the ground, right? Don't you agree? So I think we need to have that chest a little higher, not as low down as that is right away. And what we can do is we can have a look at what the translation of Y of the hip is doing. Okay, so we have this nice animation curve on the hip, and maybe we can soften that a little. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this curve. So I'm going to copy it. Why do all the work again if you can just copy paste? Okay, so I'm going to go onto our chest, and I'm going to paste it on here. So let's go to translation of Y and paste the curve. Okay. So all good. We have an issue with at the moment with the animation, because the weight of it is actually doing exactly the same as the hip is doing, right? So you can see those two controllers coming down exactly the same and going up and down the same. And that's what I saw when I was looking at the ILM walk cycle. Of course, they're very professional animators, but I was seeing that on their cycle. So we're going to have to offset this curve in a minute. But while we're here, I want to let me just offset this curve. So we're going to take this curve and we're going to offset it by how do I explain this? So if I put sync graph editor display on, I'm going to turn it on here, and I'm just selecting both curves, both controllers. At the moment they're on top of each other, so if I move you'll see the other one is there directly on top of each other. But what I want to do is I want to take the chest controller, this one, and I need to offset that by a couple of frames from what the hip is doing. Okay, it needs to be delayed by a few frames. The lowest point being, so as the other one's going down, it will be delayed and it will be coming down a little bit later, and then up and then down a little bit later from what the chest is doing. So I'll take this curve and I'm going to offset it. So we're offsetting it by a couple of frames. So we're going to take the curve and go 1, 2, 3 frames to the right, and let's see what that does. Okay, so actually what's happening if we're going to the right is that the chest is going down earlier. I think we have actually selected the wrong controller. That one has now been offset. So wrong way around. This one is the one we need to offset by 3. 1, 2, 3. That should go down after. It's very strong. Wow. But in theory, this is what it should look like. Maybe a bit later even. So we could go 1, 2, maybe 2 more frames. We could try that. Yeah, that looks much nicer, a bit more fluid. But it's very strong, so I'm going to tone this down, scale this down through the middle quite a lot. Okay. And then it's strange over here. It feels like we're holding for way too long up here. Yeah, I might lower this part of the curve down. and not drop so heavy. Frame 1. So that means just not drop the weight so heavy. Just kind of soften it a bit, and then have a much more of a cushion. Don't just drop and then hold, because there is muscles and everything connecting the chest to the hip. So we need to drop it a bit smoother than the hip would drop. Okay, that's working fine. Yeah, good. So we can then also focus on the translation of y, of x over, go to x of the chest, of the hip, copy it, go to the chest, and we're going to go over here and we're going to paste it on here. Paste. It should be here on your graph. And same thing here, we're going to have to offset it by quite a bit actually. So it's doing more or less the opposite of what the hip is doing. Okay, so as the chest is going, the hip is going left, the chest is also going left, but it needs to be offset by quite a lot. So we're going to offset it by maybe the opposite of what that was doing. So you get a bit more of a delay, switching over, translating over, I mean. Okay, it's quite delayed. I'm going to go back one. So I've now offset it by 7 frames. Yeah, 7 frames is fine. And again, we need to scale it down. You can just go to edit, scale, press the scale button, the little box next to it, and then when it loads, we're going to scale it by, let me just reset the values and make sure that it looks like this, and then press 0.8, and then you just press apply, and it scales it uniformly until you're kind of happy with the amount it's going. So at its maximum, it might be a bit less. Let's see. Boom. That's fine. It's looking quite nice for now. Good. A bit less even. Okay. Then we have our rotations. So we have our rotation of y. Same thing on the hip. Select that rotation curve. Edit, copy it. Go to the chest. Oops. We go to frame 1 and we paste on rotation of y. Paste selected. Okay. Same here. But what's happening here is that we can't be rotating the same way that the hip is. We have to be actually rotating the opposite direction. So we've pasted a controller or curve that is going the same way, and we need to flip this curve. So I have a hotkey that I use to just flip my curves. It's really nice to do, but to show you, you would go to edit scale and you take the value to -1, and that flips the curve over. Okay, or you can also just press scale in your key in your time slider and drag it upside down like that. However you want to do it. Alright, so we're going to rotate the opposite direction of what the chest is doing. Okay, and we just offset this again, probably by 3 frames. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So our first keyframe starts at 4. And we're just delaying that rotation a little bit from what the chest is, from what the hip is doing in Y. And then with the next one is our Z rotation. So rotation of Z, we copy from the chest, the hip I mean, go to the chest, go to rotation of Z, frame 1, paste it. Okay, and then offset this by 3 frames. So you go 1, 2, 3. So it starts at 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And yeah, it's more or less doing what the hip is doing anyway. So, but it is there's a delay on it. Okay, so everything is delayed. If you're starting to watch what's going on, it all starts to come together. And yeah, just leave that one there for now. Doesn't have to be a crazy amount that it's rotating. Actually, in general, I'll just probably scale that down a bit more. Even more, maybe. Yeah, it's just subtle. Doesn't have to be crazy. And I think we're done with the rotations. We've done rotation of Y. I think what we haven't done is the big one, which is X, the most important one. Just check the height of this. Still feels quite low here. In general, I think the lowest point of the chest is actually very low. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like how low it is to the ground here. What can we do? What can we do? Okay. Let's take this curve. I'm going to actually just take the lowest point of the curve. I'm going to scale it up for, so I'm just going to select your whole curve. I'm going to select the region selection tool up here and I'm going to drag it up. Like that. Because I don't want it to be so low. And what I might do is actually take the whole chest controller and drag it up a bit. It's a bit better. And what I'm looking at is actually, I'm not looking at where the chest is really, I'm looking at what the spine is doing here. Because before it was down here and it's bent like that, it just doesn't make any sense, anatomically speaking. Yeah, I mean, it's there. It's just maybe for now, let's just leave that. Okay, good. Let's check from the front, maybe that's okay. The rotation will really help a lot. We're going to go to rotation of X, and we don't really have a controller for this. A value for this one, but what we can do is we can actually take the translation of Y value, because it's the same curve. We'll take this curve, copy, that's what the X curve is going to do anyway, and we're going to go to the rotation of X, go to frame 1 and paste it on there. Okay, and then when we take the X curve, we need to actually offset that rotation. I don't know how strong this is. It's going to be, it's quite strong. Also, it's rotated the whole chest down a bit because we moved it up, remember? So let's take this one and bring it all the way back down to, you want to bring it maybe like here. It's quite strong. We want to offset that by 3 frames. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So we're starting at frame 4. Okay, let's see what this is doing. You see the drop is much sharper on this side than that side. There, on this one, it's quite sharp, the drop. Just because of the offset in frames. Okay, so we're going lowest point here. What's our value? -5. It's quite strong, so it's fine, and it's rotating the correct way. So as the weight is, as this leg, okay, let me explain something. So as the leg is coming forward, it's rotating the hip up, which we'll need to do. I don't think we've done that yet. And as that does that, it pushes into the chest as well. So the chest does the opposite. Oof. Okay. It's actually, let's move it back by 1 frame. It's a bit better. Rotating earlier. It's quite strong though, I feel that the rotation is quite hectic here. Yeah, I don't like the top part of this rotation. I think it's this rotation down here. I don't like that so much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the region tool key again, and I'm going to pull that down so that we are a little lower on the top than we are. Keeping the bottom as it is. Just play this back. That's much nicer. Much nicer. It is there, but it's not super extreme on the one side than the other side. Yeah, so the first values are like 0 or something, and then it starts going into -3, -5 at the lower point. Good. Let's see what's twisting and anything. La la la. Yeah, the shift and X is also strong on this side. But what can you do? I'm just going to soften that key going in there into this tangent. Just softening that a bit more. I mean to say. Oof. Left and right. Okay, so I'm starting to actually fine-tune things right now, and I shouldn't be doing that. I should be blocking in the main stuff, and you guys should not be getting bored because you are super excited to have this finished, and I should not be doing that right now with you guys. So in general, I think that I'm quite happy with the way things are going with the hip and the chest. We're going to now work on the head, and this is a very nice part of it, because once we're done with the head, everything sort of just comes together. We do the arms and then the tail, and we're finished. And it's very, very satisfying to have something realistically done and professionally done, and it looks really great in your scene. So let's work on the head. So with the head, I'm probably going to be animating it. Every time I animate, it's always different. So I'm probably going to not line up with the GPU cache so perfectly. Well, even my translation is not lining up with the GPU cache. Maybe I'm having one of those days, where you just sort of so restrictive with your animation style, you just soften everything. So you can see here, I'm not going as low as I should with the whole curve. Everything should just be bigger. I'm just being lazy. But I'm going to take this curve and I'm going to paste it onto the head. Let's start with that, okay? Because we all need to start somewhere. We'll start on the head's translation. And yeah, okay, so we're on the head's translation. But it must not be doing what the chest is doing. Absolutely not. And we need to offset this and do more or less what the hip is doing. Okay, so the hip and the chest have a lot of similarities, but this needs to be offset in backwards, because we've copied it from the chest, so we actually need to animate the hip. I think there's a quicker way to do this. So let me just take a couple of things from the chest, and we can paste that onto the head too before we start offsetting everything. Let's go to the chest's translation of X. It's also helpful. Let's copy you. Let's go to the head, go to frame 1 and paste you. Okay. Let's also do, we can do the rotation of X. I think that is also looking like quite a juicy curve there. I'm going to copy you. And I'm going to paste you on here. Rotation of X, very important one on the head. Oof. Let's do the Z curve. Oh, the Z curve's a little tricky actually. I think maybe we can copy it, but it's, yeah, we can copy it over. Let's paste it on here. And the Y, it's not super important, the Y, but we can copy it. You should just copy everything, hey? Huh. One thing we need to do is Z. That's going to be tricky. Alright, everything's on here, and it's going to, if I play it back, it's going to look ridiculous at the moment. It's going to be doing all kinds of, look at me, I'm amazing, I'm just walking around, hey. So that's not working. So we're going to, first of all, we need to offset everything earlier. So we'll take the whole curve, everything that we have, and we're going to offset it. I don't know how many frames back right now, but I'm thinking like 4 frames backwards. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 back. And it should start to look like a chicken. Look up, look, 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 look. Which is fine. That's what it's doing. Okay, so where do we begin? Right. So let's start first of all with the biggest one, which is the rotation of X. At the moment, the rotation of X is doing what the chest is doing at the same time, even though there's a delay, but it shouldn't do that. We should be flipped over. So I'm going to flip my curves. You guys know what the shortcut is, or how to do that from before. You do edit scale, -1, and then flip it. And yeah, so what I want to be doing at the beginning of my rotation of X is I want to be quite high up actually. So I want to have the head pointing a bit further down, pointing further. So if I'm looking at his eye line, it's sort of in this direction. Look at the top of the nose. You want to do that. And then I want to have this rotation just a little offset. So let's say like frame 32. Yeah. Maybe I can hold that for a bit longer. What do you think? One more frame there, one more frame here. Soften it. Just doof, 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 doof. Okay, something's looking shocking here. Going up. And so we're looking at this chest. So as the chest is rotating that direction, we're rotating the other way. But now what you see, what the translation is doing some horrible stuff to us. So yeah, so we need to, same thing with the translation, we need to be flipped over, so we need to be going up at this point. But it's, yeah, that's too high overall. We're gonna just lower the head somewhere there. But what we want to do is we want to have this thing happening where the head goes down, but the rotation of the nose goes forward. Can you see that? So the head is going down, but the rotation of the nose is going up. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's super, super difficult and subtle to get this correct, but it's there. Okay, that rotation of X is very it's very it's very funny. Yeah, he looks like a bit of a fairy. I'm just gonna soften that. There we go. Yeah, it's there. Let me check what's happening with this. Boom, it's going up. We're correct. We're going down here. Okay, so let's look at the X curve. I think we can, I think we can take the top of the curve and actually just, we could take this whole curve and actually rotate it up a bit, take it up a bit, like that. Oof. Okay. It's kind of there. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. It looking more like a chicken. Okay. And then let's just look at our rotation of Z. Okay, so rotation of Z. Z. Okay, same thing with you. I think that we're rotating the wrong way around. So we need to flip this over. Oops, flip that curve over. And I think we can see, we want to rotate, as he's turning, we want to rotate later. 1, 2, 3 frames later, earlier. And this Y curve is way too strong for sure. So let me just scale this back. Okay, scale that back. It's doing the right thing, but yeah, 30. You can offset by 2 frames, 3 frames or something. So I'm going to lead with the head, so that the head is leading a little more. And I want to roll that head. I feel I really want to roll that this a bit more, the rotation of Z. But maybe we can rotate it a bit later. Boom. And roll, turn earlier. There. Okay, it's looking a bit better. Okay, and then we take the translation of X, which is super extreme right now. We could just soften all of that down. We need to keep that head in the same place. Okay. For now, that's looking quite nice. Okay, good. Check against the cache file I gave you guys. So if you have any issues, you can see what's going on, where your curves might be not doing well. I'm actually liking my pose better than the GPU cache. Yeah, I think that height, maybe this part of the curve, the height is a little too high. So you can take the top you could take the whole section when it's at the top and lower it down, bring it down, just to soften the translation up and down in the head. But yeah, in theory, it's looking great. Cool. Good. If your rotation is quite strong, again, don't be shy to just take everything and scale it. You know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be so crazy. If you feel that's too strong, then it's too strong. Okay? Because if you feel it's not right, it's not right. Right. Good. What next? Okay, so let's move on to the, we could do the arms, or do you want to should we just finish with the body, then we do the arms? Let's do the tail. Oh, my nemesis. Here we go. All right. I don't like doing this part, but here we are. So I had a selection set for the tail, but I don't have it on me right now. Oh, I had it with my anim tools. So I'm going to select the whole tail, and we're going to go frame 1, and I'm just going to key this, and then we're going to offset everything, then offset that again, and then offset it again, and then offset it again, and then offset it again, and offset it again, and offset it again. And then once we've done all that, it'll look great. So when it comes to animating the tail, it's very tricky. It's very tricky. If we have a look at the reference again, this is a really great animation reference for the tail. If you can somehow get that into Maya as an image, it's really great. But this is they're using really nice dynamics, I'm pretty sure, and they've got this really cool flick that goes through the tail. Boom, boom, adding a lot of fleshiness to the end part of the tail, which is really nice to see. You see there, right at the end, it's getting some really, really beautiful shapes. Even there, look at this nice part. So that's what we want to try and have with ours, and keep the more the beginning part of the tail quite rigid and strong. All right, it's not as easy to say that than to do it. But how we do it is we start off with the basics. So we have okay, I don't know how to explain this. So we start with frame 1, set a key, whatever. Let's rotate in one axis. Oops, let's turn off that set a key. In one axis, we're going to be rotating. Let's see, what are we doing? So we're going down. Okay, so at frame 8, we're going to do exactly what it says on the tin. We're going down. Going down. The lowest point of the cycle is down. So let's rotate it down. No? Why not? Down. Highest point is, well, we're starting to go up around 19. So we can start to lift it up around 19. 25 is the highest point. So we're going to have the tail go up, and 25. Down at 33, 32, so we can just middle mouse 8 to 33. Then 25, well, 19 to 45, 25 to 50, 50 to 1. And let me just see what this does with the curve. Once autosave kicks in. All right, let me just cycle this. And let's delete X. We're only looking at Z for now. I'm going to create a flat tangent here. I'm going to soften these curves right ahead of schedule before I even start offsetting everything, because I don't want to do that later. Oops. Okay. So we're going down, up, 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 down, up. Okay, so it's gonna be crazy. I think with the first initial hit, that keyframe is a bit too strong, coming straight into it like that, bang. It's not giving enough time on the other side to react to that. So what you want to do with the tail is try to not draw attention to it. That's the trick, especially like when we were working on House of the Dragons. I promise you, the tail it can take you hours and hours and hours, and then someone will go, oh, the tail's very distracting, or can we do something else, like reanimate this part, and then you have to reanimate the tail, and it's not even fun. It's not nice. So once you smooth everything out, what we're going to do is we're going to offset each tail from the other tail, and we shall do that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 frames, I think, maybe 3 or 4 frames. It's touch and go for now. Let me just explain it. So we're going to start from the hip, and we're going to deselect it. So we'll deselect the hip controller. You'll see in your graph editor, if I shift and select that again, if you deselect it, one gets taken away. Then you know you're good. I'm going to select that, and we're going to offset it by 3 frames for now. So a quick way to do this is to go into the stats and go to plus, write an expression equals 3. And I'm just going to copy that, press enter. I'm going to deselect the next one, select that, press enter. Deselect the next one, go in here, enter. Damn it. Plus equals 3. Yeah, and then I forgot to copy it, so plus is equal to 3. Enter. And one more time, enter. And we should be getting a bit of an offset on the tail there, like that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's very strong, especially towards the end there. But how do we, now what we need to do is I need to show you a really cool trick to learn. I want you to go into the side view. Alright, go into the right view and then create, I think you can do it in the right view, create polygon primitives plane. I think you can draw it in this section. Whoops, I still have a texture on here. It's crazy. I'll just assign a Lambert quickly. And I'll duplicate that and bring it down. This is a handy trick. So what you want to do is you want to keep your tail inside this gap. You must never have the tail, for example, go above the hip, ever. No matter what happens, it should never go above the hip, nor drop below the lower region over there. So what you want to do is you want to keep the tail in that section. And how we do that is we tone down the first 3 or first 2. We can tone these down, these curves. So you can go to edit scale and just soften those 1, 2, maybe even 3 times. And that sort of restricts the big major swing of rotation right in the first part of the tail there. Okay, so it is there, it's just very subtle, and it's much more extreme at the end. And yeah, that's one way of doing it. And then The other way is to actually delay these two controllers, or this last controller even, by an extra frame. Let's see if this is working. And increasing its overall rotation, especially this one. It needs to be increased quite a bit, and it's not working. Why? Let's go back one frame. Was it earlier? I think it's earlier actually. The rotations. And then again, you can soften like this one, we can soften that down. Boom, boom. And maybe that one more. Yeah, it's something like that. You want to keep that that sort of style going with your animation, your tail. Good. Oof, I hate tails. All right, now that you have that on your rotation of Z, you copy it over. Come on. You copy that over to the rotation of Y. And that's what your curve should look like. It should look like this. It should look like a beautiful wave. And yeah, it should. So we go over to Y and we paste, and I hope it just does the same thing. No. No, it pastes everything onto each other. So I think what I need to do is to shift, select, copy, and then we go to frame 1 and we go and paste. It's not doing it. Let me just check this selection. It's just pasting it over each other, which is not what I wanted. And I want to go and shift and select here. And then let me see if I can do it through maybe here using a preserve adjustment, copies of 1, and not merge. Nope. We want to do it on the Y curve. And if I key it, and we're on the Y curve, I can select them. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, look, it's not going to work at the moment. Let me just reset the tools. Maybe I can insert it. That won't work because mine is not my favorite. Let me try one more thing. I'm going to try and copy the curve itself, the curves, edit copy, and I want to try and paste them onto Y, edit, paste. Yeah, it works. Oh my gosh. Okay, so sometimes, yeah, you sometimes win, sometimes not. Okay, but this, okay, no wait, so wait, this is not, this is not right. No, because it needs to just go one side and not back again. It needs to just go to this side and then to this side. So I should not have done that, but it looks kind of cool. Bloop, bloop, bloop. It's too much. It's too flimsy. Don't like that. Shame. Shame. Maybe if we put on X, what do you think? Key selected. Let's go to X. Boom. We wouldn't even see it, but it is there. Yeah, you can't see it. Anyway, it's rotating in X this way, but it's hardly noticeable. All right, let's do this Y bit then. Go to frame 1, and we are going to go to the top view, and we are going to, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? So I'm going to steal the Y curve from here, copy. This is why you have a selection set, because you can just select them all again without having to do this every single time. And then we're going to go to frame 1, and I'm going to go to frame Y, and I'm going to paste it all onto there. One by one has the same curve. It's going that way. Let me check the GPU cache. Are we in the right direction? Yeah, no, so we need to be flipped. I'm going to scale this up so it makes it super obvious. But it should be right because we offset everything by a lot. So yeah. Anyway. Right, let's offset the first one by 3 frames. Second one, 3 frames. You cannot move keys. Okay, it's interesting. 3 frames. Deselect that one. 3 frames. Deselect that one. 3 frames. Deselect that one. 3 frames. Okay, in theory it's working, but it's the wrong way around. So we do oh, I should have my selection set now. Okay, right. Dump, 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 dump. Let's go to Y. And we are going to flip you. And that should be right in theory. Just offset a bit. Goof, goof, goof. Okay, it's good. I'm just going to tone down the first 3. Yeah, so I'll turn down the first 3 of Y and just scale it down quite a bit. Because same thing here is you want to stay in a straighter area. You don't want to go too far in one direction and in the other. Okay, especially the first controller. I think I find that to be quite rotatey. Quite disconnected there, actually, from the hip. Or you know what it could be? It could be that the hip is actually super disconnected too. It is also because the body is following, the tail is following the hip. Oh wow, that saves a lot of turning global on. Off just wiggles the whole thing. Interesting. All right. I think we're okay. I think more or less is looking nice. What I might do is just exaggerate these last 3 controls on all keys, all keyframes. I'm going to scale them up by 1.2. Oops. 1.2. Just increase a couple times. Let's see. Like that. Maybe it's too much, I think. What do you think? I think it's a bit much. I think it's a bit... Yeah, it's too floppy. Let's take down one of those. Maybe two of those. Yeah, it's good. All right. I might just even offset you by 1 frame. 2 frames. Oof, no, maybe it was too much. It's alright. It's alright. It's good. Look, the tail doesn't always have to be perfect, okay? It doesn't. We are just a bit more exaggerated on this way. I kept global on. I think I didn't. I kept global on. I didn't have global on the other one. Let's just see if it's off. Does it really make a difference? Not really. It's fine, whatever. You guys can fiddle around with it to your heart's content. Okay. Let's just leave that. Okay. The next, obviously, part is going to be the fine-tuning of everything, which will be the arms, adding in a secondary animation. We also have some jiggle animation that comes on the neck. We do the jaw, add a blink, do some jiggles on the legs, and yeah, just tidy up general things like this sort of area here, what's going on with the ankle, so we need to correct that area. And small bits and pieces. So I'll see you in the next lesson for that. And yeah, hopefully we're nearly there to finish everything.